as well with the unknowns that has been playing really, really well. And looks like on attack, AKM is going to be starting out as Pharah with chips on Mercy, so I for sure am going to be watching AKM's Pharah progress attacking into Hollywood. This is a good map for her, as she can leap over the security room and actually get free shots down at the point. It can be very difficult to pick her off unless you've got Reaver on defense playing Widowmaker, so Reaver will have to keep an eye out for that Pharah. Double Torb on attack. Pretty sure that's not going to stay.
That's probably going to change. We also have a Symmetra at play here. So Symmetra Roy is still getting a little bit of action here, placing the turrets all around the point. But here we go, Hollywood, the first map between IDDQD and C9. It begins right now in this best of 3. All right, so taking a look at how they're pushing forward here. We actually have a Roadhog on attack. Usually tend to see a lot of Reinhardt on attack on this map. And interesting to see, of course, AKM playing that Pharah. I thought he was more known as a hit scan player, but Pharah already out instantaneously. Cloud9 getting 2 kills right off the bat here.
Yeah, Taimu tried to slip past that SUV and caught a fire strike to the face. He fell really, really quickly. Then AKM just moments after falling as well. So both of the new DPS players are the first ones to die in this series. While on the defense, they're just hanging on tight, not losing any players, playing their corners very well. It can be pretty simple to defend here, Hollywood A. It's really just a matter of, are their ults going to roll over you? Symmetra obviously has a very good time here. She's being played by Kai, saving up for that teleporter. He only needs 4% more. You can see him actually staying behind the Torb turret long enough to actually be able to place that. Now the teleporter is available. So he's going to go place that. They're going to flood back in, but in the meantime, all the rest of the defense has been getting picked apart. There's a res to keep them in play, and the teleporter is up, but it's around the corner from the point. Offense still just stomping all over the payload at the moment.
Reaver has been able to basically be unopposed a lot of the time as Widowmaker up top. Finally going down, not able to get enough kills to keep this going for his team, I don't think. There is a teleporter up, but it is already down as well. So now moving on to the next part of the map, and this is honestly one of my favorite parts of any map. It just emphasizes the roof control so much for both teams. Both teams are going to be scrambling to get up top. And that's probably why we see Kai now on the Winston. He's able to jump up as a tank, get all the way up to the top. Although we don't have a lot of other mobility characters for the defending team of Cloud9. They do have Reaver sticking with Widowmaker, so Widowmaker certainly can grapple all the way up there as well. Let's see, though, it's still unopposed now as we do have IDDQD pushing forward carefully and comfortably. But this is a huge stack of players up top on the roof now for Cloud9. Winston is going to comfortably be able to push in with the Mercy Beam healing him up as he continues to zap away. And there's a Zarya ult going to grab in 2 of the tanks, but the Reinhardt shield kept the defending team alive. But that is a streak of kills going towards IDDQD, and they have 2 new players on their team. But you gotta remember, folks, IDDQD was strong, and a lot of people gave credit to Mendo and Tavik, but they also have some of the best tanks, some of the best supports, and some of the best coordination as a team. We're seeing that right here versus Cloud9.
Yeah, I gotta love the coordination on that previous push. You know, the defense trying to do the leaping Earth Shatter, but unfortunately for them, it kind of backfired as Zarya got that Graviton Surge, and they were able to pick them apart. There's a Mercy Res for the defense, bringing everyone back up onto the payload, but it's just a majority of tanks, it seems, and Reaver and Surefour are getting their damage in for sure, though. Looks like the offense has been wiped once again. They're going to need to collect their thoughts or run away, as Taimu actually getting taken out there as Widowmaker. Nothing really going the way of the attackers except for that Graviton Surge earlier off of the bridge. Now they're going to reform. It looks like they may even switch characters here. No, it looks like they're just waiting for all 6 to get together. Mercy's going to join Widowmaker and give her that damage amp, trying to find the free shots. The sniper duel is something that is very important here on Hollywood. The defensive sniper getting boosted up as well, so whoever gets the first pick sometimes will just win the fight outright and buy themselves a lot of time.
Yeah, Cloud9 did well to hold there. I thought IDDQD was going to get this next checkpoint quite a bit earlier. That said, IDDQD still on a great pace, and they almost sneaky it, but actually the Mercy is the first to jump down and keep this thing going, and they're actually going to hold. They're going to hold before getting to this next point. Really nicely done by Cloud9. And as you mentioned so frequently, Josh, This is the worst place for a payload to be for the attacking team. It is the furthest away from the spawn points of the offense. So, IDDQD, they were looking super strong. I thought they were going to make it through this, but Cloud9 has pulled together, and I gotta say, it's a lot on the back of Reaver and his Widowmaker. His Widowmaker has been so influential in this game so far, and just great play by Cloud9 altogether, obviously. Ultimates drops on both sides as IDDQD, all they need to do is push this thing just a little tiny bit further, and a couple of ults drop now for IDDQD, but still no kills. They just wasted 2 ultimates, and Cloud9 standing strong.
Yeah, Grego is the only person to fall in that Graviton Surge, but the rest of the team is just so tanky. They have such a high HP pool that Mercy is able to basically just switch back and forth between her tanks while McCree runs around, gets his damage in, and looks like Taimu on Widowmaker, actually, excuse me, Reaver on Widowmaker still getting his shots in. He does find Taimu very quickly there in the sniper duel, and that's actually going to hurt IDDQD for another 20-30 seconds again. They're not going to have a 6th player, and no one is contesting Widowmaker above right now, shooting down at those tanks.
I'm going to watch, actually, Reaver now, who he's playing in a way that he's just never really exposing himself too much, always able to grapple away in the nick of time and continue just raining hell from above. And I think one of the best ways to take down a sniper is with a sniper of your own, and we don't see a Widowmaker now for IDDQD.
Yeah, Taimu just swapped off.
They've swapped off, so now we actually have 2 McCrees in play. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, very, very difficult for McCree to duel a Widowmaker from the street. Just McCree's damage fall off is not going to help him win that battle very often, even with headshots. But the 2 tanks are allowing Reaver to actually jump around from rooftop to rooftop as he chooses. The tank's just doing a great job staying present. The attacking team cannot ignore them. Winston and Reinhardt just getting in their faces constantly. There's a big Graviton Surge, but Reinhardt does have his shield up. There's a beat drop as well, this time for the offense. Never give up, providing some extra HP for his team, but that big Mercy res again means that it looks like offense is going to be the last people standing. Reaver's still just up on that rooftop, taking as many shots as he pleases, though.
And NA is striking back here. They had a very close game just now against Flat Earth. I was surprised to even see Flat Earth taking that first map against C9, but C9 playing super strong right now, and Tibet has nailed multiple charges now in the last minute, and another revive for the defending team, but it looks like finally they might not be in a position to stop this. They could dive in, but then they'd risk being down a player or 2. They are going to use the Lucio ult to dive in one more time, and Ultimate's coming from behind. It's going to be Deadeye on both sides, but it does not look like Cloud9 is going to be able to hold this for too much longer. In comes a Winston, but this is really a desperation play. It's only 2 tanks versus the entirety of IDDQD, so now IDDQD should be able to push forward.
Winston, very valuable rage ult there. He's actually just going to leap into the sky. We saw him do this last week in the Ghost of Gamers NA tourney, where he just leaps over and over and over. It contests continually, but he does eventually fall as he's the only person there. I think it's worth it to contest there. They got a good 20 seconds or so after that very last push, so definitely I think it's okay. They had a chance to push them to overtime. It didn't quite go their way, but they just didn't get enough kills to do so. With the 2 tanks and AKM and Taimu, Valutage was on Reunited, the previous series. AKM and Taimu doing a good job on the double McCree, in fact. AKM actually found Reaver on Widow and managed to take her out on top of the rooftop while he was on the ground still. So very, very bad trade for Reaver. Did allow them to actually finally get that push through the door, and now they're very close to the end. We've got a big ultimate from Debet on defense, knocking down several of the attackers, giving enough time to Kai to actually go in there and contest the payload itself. Every inch matters here, now with only a 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining.
All right, so defense able to push back one more time. And I think that if you hit Alt-Z, bring the health back up. Some folks in chat are letting us know. But no big deal. Here we are in the last final stretch of Hollywood, and Cloud9 holding quite strong. I'm super impressed with their defensive fortitude here on Hollywood. The payload is inching forward now, and taking a look at the team compositions, we do now have a Reaper in play. AKM has switched over. Neither team playing with Pharah. I'm a little bit surprised to see that. It does not look like the defense is opting, well, actually still with 2 tanks now. So in this latest patch, we've seen 2 tanks really be the meta. A lot of teams seem to be playing with this, but this is scramble, do or die moment for Cloud9. They might not be able to do it as the payload rolls into the final checkpoint, and a time is set now by IDDQD. about 9 minutes, but Cloud9, I feel, has to be pretty happy with the hold there.
Yeah, good job to both sides. Obviously, really close match throughout. Waiting for that big Mercy res. There it is.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more Mercy play of the games recently, and I'm actually really glad to see that. You know, it's not super hype to watch a Mercy just healing somebody or damage boosting somebody from afar, but what is hype is these longer dashes now, flying over the strewn apart dead bodies, reviving like 4 or 5 people at once in midair. That's always hype to watch, and can be a game changer.
Okay, now we're going to flip sides. Let's see if Cloud9 can make it to the end of the map. Was that 9 minutes exactly? I believe.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just chatting with some folks.
Okay, so they've got their time to beat. Yep, 9 minutes exactly. So we'll see if they bring out something new again. That last map against Flat Earth, they did have the Bastion double Reinhardt composition, but that was a full payload map, so they will need something a little bit better geared toward taking over point A before they start worrying about the payload. Looks like we are seeing pretty traditional composition. The only difference I would say is Kai on Hanzo, so they've got an attacking Hanzo and an attacking Widowmaker, double sniper on offense. Hopefully they can get some picks, or else it's going to be pretty difficult to get in there with those 2 frail sniper bodies.
Ready for combat operations. Barrier activated.
All right, here we are switching sides on Hollywood. Cloud9, all they have to do is beat that time of 9 minutes, but that is no small task against IDDQD, one of the strongest teams in Overwatch history thus far. Really, they were 55-0 before this tournament. Obviously, they've had roster changes, but they still have that same core of players to power the tanks and the supports, and they have a great set of replacements for DPS as well. So it's going to be tough now for Cloud9 to push in and make this happen. They do have fairly standard composition, I guess, now for the current meta. We do have Widowmaker, of course, 2 tanks, Lucio and Mercy as the 2 supports, and McCree to round it out. On defense, we do have Symmetra in play once again, and I think it's actually more for the teleporter and the turrets this time than it is now for the 50 HP, because 0 tracers, guys. This patch really addressed what people thought was the issue, and the first kill already going to Cloud9, and they're looking pretty healthy now. They're going to activate the Lucio healing barrier. Lots of them are actually low on health now at this point, but they have the 1-man advantage, and I think they could use this to great effect. Can they? But they have to push in right now, otherwise the other player for the defending team is going to come from the teleporter, and he is back into the action now, so no more advantage for Cloud9. They had a brief window, but it is dissipated now.
Yep, there's a Deadeye coming up from Sure4. He does have it active still. It does manage to take out the enemy Reinhardt with it, so that's a very, very valuable pickup. Never Give Up does have sound barrier, but no teammates to actually give it to. The teleporter is now either out of charges or destroyed, so defense cannot get back in quickly, and Cloud9 is going to take over the point. Reaver had a really good, valuable kill on Chips there to slow down any healing possibility, and now payload should be starting. This is something that Cloud9 actually kind of failed on when they had their teleporter up. They actually got the point capped immediately after that, so the teleporter got refunded. But defense here for IDDQD did last a little bit longer with that teleporter in play.
Reaver is peeking, and he could open this up for his team here if he's able to get even 1 pick. And Never Give Up is in a awkward position ahead of his team as Lucio. If Reaver can spot him out, one of the supports, and that's really taken the legs out of this defense by IDDQD. Let's see if he can do it. Now it's actually a strong push as the Zenyatta ult has popped on defense, allowing them to push straight into the face of the Cloud9. Yet no one has died yet for Cloud9, and they've taken 1 kill to their favor. So now It does look like this payload is going to start moving. We do have a revive, though, on defense, or offense, bringing people back up. So this is looking really nice for Cloud9.
Yeah, they're pushing very swiftly here through the Wild West set, and it looks like in the kill feed, Kai and Surefour had a lot to do with it as that ground-based force continues to push forward. Reaver and Mercy are up on the top side, just shooting down at whatever happens to come out of those spawns. Payload has not really stopped moving here, so defense will get one more chance really to coordinate and try and stop this before hitting this next checkpoint. There you can see the speed boost coming out, but Surefour does pop his Deadeye. He's not going to pull the trigger just yet, saving it. No, does not get a kill, but does sink enough damage into Internet Hulk to get him down. And now with the offensive res, it looks like they're going to maintain control of this payload. There's a Graviton Surge from the offense, catching Tracer and getting her killed off. That is the first Tracer we've seen on this stream today, but there she is, as eventually expected.
All right, man, I'm getting hyped for the NA teams and the NA fans right now because Cloud9 looking super strong in this matchup. They have basically almost 5.5 minutes right now to get just to get to the end of this map. They're in the final stretch right here, right now. Are there any switch-ups for the defensive team? It does look like Internet Hulk has switched over to the Winston. Of course, no brain, no aim. He's a Winston main, as the chat spam tends to go. And he's jumping in. That's going to allow his team to engage here as Coco now charging straight forward. I like what Coco did. He charged forward, but in a way that he would hit the wall and not go into his impending doom. But already the first kill going to Cloud9. Taimu in danger. Taimu is down. Cloud9 is looking dominant on Hollywood.
Yeah, they're really surging forward now in the last point of this map, Hollywood. All they have to do is set a faster time than IDDQD, and they're definitely on pace to do so. If they can keep it going, Reaper does fall there. AKM swapped over from Tracer to Reaper, still goes down before being able to take anyone out. Internet Hulk swatting at people now with his Primal Rage ultimate on Winston, trying to get them off of the payload. Tibet now the only one actually on the payload, but the rest of the team catches up there with McCree, Zarya, and Lucio all running up to the front. There's a big Earth Shatter catching Taimu and Never Give Up. They're both going to fall as well, and before Chips can even think of rezzing them, Chips falls as well. Suddenly AKM, the only player left alive as the Reaper. That is going to start to push forward now. Internet Hulk coming in one at a time, and IDDQD, I don't think they're going to be able to stop this. They're going to slow it for a couple of seconds. Tracer coming in now. Ooh, big Earth Shatter could change the tides for IDDQD, but Coco not charging to try and get a follow-up pin. The payload is just a little bit too close to the objective, so he's going to do a good job staying on the payload itself. Taimu and AKM just both on Tracer now, blinking in and out, trying to keep this cart from moving anywhere. Finally, they do kill off both Tracers, and they will set a faster time.
And here we go. NA takes the first map against IDDQD, the #1 seed in this tournament. It is not the IDDQD of last week. It is a slightly different version, but still incredibly strong. So great to see NA striking back after this team has basically just been dominant for the last 2 months of Overwatch competition. And no surprise to see that it's Reaver getting play of the game here. His Widowmaker has looked impeccable so far in this tournament. And Reaver just one of the stronger DPS players in the game. And given that the loser was IDDQD here, we actually don't have to switch over to NA. I think we'll be staying right here.
Excelente. Great game there to get us started for this Winners Round 2 match. Cloud9 didn't do anything crazy. They kept very classic picks throughout that entire attack. No Bastion, no double Reinhardt. Still rolled over IDDQD very well there.
Yep. So we'll see what the map pick is for IDDQD. All right, we've got over 3,000 people in the chat right now. Huge shout outs to all of you guys for tuning in. We so appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun to cast for you over the last couple of weeks, couple of months. But this is the big tournament. This is the one for $3,000 on the line to really try and define who is the dominant team in the beta. Well, that was the idea, of course. We did have some last-minute roster changes come and surprise us over the last, well, literally 3 days. In the last 3 days, IDDQD has changed, Flat Earth changed. Of course, Envy, they lost Taimu, who's been scrimming with the team for a number of weeks. So Envy had to drop out of the picture. So things got mixed up in the last minute, but hopefully you guys are enjoying the games nonetheless. I think we're still going to have some excellent action coming your way. So sit tight. relax, and we'll be jumping into game number 2 in this best of 3 in just a moment. Just a little bit of an update for the bracket for you guys. It does look like the newly picked up Liquid Overwatch squad, formerly known as Life of Hanzo, has taken a win over Veteran, which is the new team on the block from China. Apparently the best team in China decided to join up in this tournament. Last minute, huge shout outs to Ray. I don't know if you're listening right now, but Ray in the Overwatch Discord chat helped us get this match going so last minute, and right now I think it's about 2:30 in the morning in China, or perhaps 1:30 in the morning. So these guys, if they go further in the tournament, they're going to be playing super late. Huge shout outs to the Asian scene and Ray for helping us get connected with that scene. Should be some fun matches for you there. And here we go. Kings Row will be the second match, or map of the day. And Josh, it just feels like teams want to play this match over and over and over and over again. It is everyone's favorite map, it seems. What do you think about Kings Row?
I mean, it is starting to get a little stale when you see it so often, but that's any, classic map that you're going to see over and over again. Anything that's well balanced and players have no reason not to pick it, they tend to be favored. And Kings Row is something that most players have the most experience on. They know all the routes, both on offense and defense. They've basically... They're not going to get caught off guard typically on this map, and even if they are, they have the experience with the layout to know at least a few strategies to try and deal with it. It is a fairly narrow map once you get to the payload portion, but there are still enough flank spots where Tracer and Genji can be popular. Otherwise, though, McCree, Pharah, it just lends itself towards very long, straight shooters. The less damage fall off, the better. So snipers and Pharah are both very common here. Barrage, there's a lot of good airspace for Barrage to come in. I feel like all the tanks are generally pretty valuable here. D.Va and Winston are good at attacking snipers in the back line. Reinhardt can push a payload. Roadhog can push a payload. So really not a lot of bad options here on Kings Row. I'd say that the balance is what causes it to get picked so much, and the experience that the players have. But I don't mind seeing it. It still provides some great close games.
Here we go, and it's 4 Hanzos for IDDQD. Of course, it was actually this team that pioneered this mass Hanzo scatter arrow strategy. Not able to get any kills, but now we can actually tell via the top HUD that some damage was dealt by those scatter arrows.
Yeah, see, Never Give Up actually on the offense already lost half his life, as did Coco. But Reaver actually was the only one kind of out and about. He was not behind the Reinhardt shield when the arrows let fly. I thought he might actually have been a little too exposed, but he manages to stay alive as well. Nothing really happening in the kill feed right now besides just kind of posturing. 30 seconds bleeding off the clock. IDDQD still has not made a dent. Reaver is off on his own and does pick off the Widowmaker. Does actually make a trade, but Mercy brings Widow right back up. And Taimu's looking for those snipes already. Already got one on Surefour.
Chipsogen got his revive in 40 seconds. In 40 seconds he got his revive. That is insane, and now a revive on the defensive side as well, so another chance for Cloud9 to stop this first point from being captured, as it did look like it was going to go the way of IDDQD super quick there, but Debet is actually able to hit a fire strike against Coco, so Coco must be down a little bit. Coco still with most of his health though, so the tank looking strong, but Cloud9 has held on. They've been able to hold on for longer than you might expect, given how the first engagement went here. And they still looking pretty good, and they do have Kai also with the Symmetra, and the teleporter is up, ladies and gentlemen, so Cloud9 can get back into the action quick, but no, it's going to be the Reinhardt actually coming all the way around. Coco moved all the way around.
Yeah.
I don't even know how he got back there. Now trying to catch someone with a dash from behind, he is able to get it. So Coco starting this off very well for his team.
Coco was actually back there battling Debet, Reinhardt versus Reinhardt. Coco won the fight, then lost to a Tracer, then got res, then ran and killed the teleporter. So Coco
Yeah,
was
that was
already
crazy.
in no man's land when he got brought back up. I watched him just waltz over there and kill the TP with no issues. But now we do have another a flurry, I guess, of ultimates, a slew, a flurry turned into slur there. But there we go. Offense actually standing on the point here. They've got 2 of the 3 ticks. Coco charging away at Debet, trying to save his. Lucio does manage to do so. Graviton Surge comes out and finishes off the defenders. Now Adam, suddenly the only player in contention, gets flopped immediately, and they are going to take that point.
Hey man, every millisecond matters. That Mercy delayed that payload for at least a quarter of a second, okay?
Yeah, man.
Definitely worth. Hashtag value. All right, here
At
we
least
go.
he gets to
Moving
run back
on.
with his team.
Yeah, that's right. That's totally correct, right? His whole team spawned very far back, so no harm, no foul. But it's going to be Taimu who's damage boosted as Widowmaker peeking over top, and Taimu could deal a whole bunch of damage. Reaver has no fear. He is pushing straight forward. Reaver able to get the kill on Taimu. I thought Taimu must have had that. I mean, we're playing on the European server, so no excuses for that one. But Reaver, with balls of steel, making it happen for his team.
Yeah, the defense is in a really good position right now. You talked about Reaver getting a few kills there. Surefour actually landing a good flash onto Coco and taking him out. Reinhardt has a tough time against McCree's now after the flash over the shield kind of trick was exposed. Reinhardt loses a lot of his luster. Barrage comes down there from AKM scoring 2 kills, but the res actually undoes all of it.
And it's very easy as a shoutcaster to focus on the DPS characters, but I have to give it up to Adam, the Mercy for Cloud9. He has just this knack for staying out of harm's way, and just when his whole team gets wiped, he's just in the right position to pull off the revive, bring everybody back. Heroes never die, is what Adam has to say about that. And now he's going to be probably damage boosting. Well, it looks like damage boosting Surefour now as he pushes forward with the high noon. Will he be able to get anybody? Doesn't look like it. He did deal a whole lot of damage, though. Never give up. Very low. Coco even lower. Now Coco on the throws, on death's doorstep, but being revived by Mercy, so Coco back up into action, and a bit of a stalemate temporarily here.
Yeah, defense always benefits more from a stalemate than offense, so Cloud9's happy to just continue butting heads as long as they're not losing any of their players, and as long as the payload is not moving forward. There's the sound barrier, and a barrage, and a Graviton Surge from the attackers. I heard a Death Blossom going off. It sounded like AKM hit the button, but didn't actually score any kills. Internet Hulk with a good follow-up does take out Surefour, Adam, and now Grego falling. Defense still standing, though, with 4 members on the payload after all is said and done.
Here we go. So Cloud9 has stumped IDDQD temporarily in the most narrow portion of the map, basically. I mean, there's almost no room on either side of this payload as it rounds to Ben, and Coco does have a little bit of room to work with, but not much, as here comes Debet. It's shield on shield, but the shield goes down for Debet, and Coco somehow had spider senses were tingling at that moment. He dropped the ult at the perfect time, and that's going to be 4 kills right in a row. And Adam, does he have a revive? No revive for Adam, and that is going to allow IDDQD to get into the final portion of the map here on Kings Row.
All right, just about 4.5 minutes left for IDDQD to try to complete this push. Cloud9 staying in the very far back all the way, waiting for all their players to respawn before moving up. I think it's a good move. You don't want to trickle in and let that payload move for free. So now that everybody's up, Reaver's in position, trying to take some shots. Debet is slowly going to move forward. Kai's going to jump up and try to deal with the Reaper up there. AKM just looking for an opportunity to drop down. He does have Death Blossom available, so I'm looking for it. AKM does fall to the sniper. Reaver, good job picking off Reaper right before he jumped down for Death Blossom.
Debet, Surefour, Adam, and the Winston continuing to hold this defense, although they are outnumbered right now. Well, actually, it's looking fairly even. They're outnumbered for a second, but everyone's going to be able to get back into the fray in just about 5 seconds, so I don't know if IDDQD can take advantage of this. They're continuing to inch forward, but 2 kills, Surefour able to pop and drop those guys, so they are dead out of this. And look at this aggressive defense now by C9, I don't know if this is going to work out. Too many people getting caught, but are they going to keep getting kills? It looks like they might. Coco now in a dangerous position all by himself. Debet, though, overextended. And Cloud9, it was a ballsy play. The ballsiness continues, and here comes two support ultimates going to keep them alive for quite a bit longer as the battle does continue directly on top of the payload. And this is just absolute mayhem, Joshy. What are you seeing on your end?
Man, the momentum is just completely all over the place right now. The fact that they pushed them all the way up to their spawn, if you look at that decision in a snapshot, you think this is probably a bad idea at any one moment. If you're super far pressed up, and they could have their ultimates, they could just roll through you, and suddenly this is happening where the payload is just moving way too far. Just 30 seconds ago, Cloud9 was up in the faces of IDDQD. Now they're regretting that decision. Huge after one Graviton Surge just flipped it all on its head. Now Kai jumping in. He does get to stay in there as Winston just long enough. Adam with the heal beam in the background, keeping them up alive long enough to take out Internet Hulk, and suddenly Never Give Up is down. Suddenly the attackers do not have the juice to keep going. So Cloud9 very grateful, I'm sure, to be able to prevent that from capping all the way after they made that big push out all the way to the
That
enemies.
was so close too. Kai playing Winston jumped in less than a meter left to be pushed for this payload. It is just about half a second of pushing with one person, and it would be in the final resting place. So with 1 meter left, Kai, the clutch senses were with him, and he made it happen for his team. I honestly thought that was it. I thought IDDQD had set the time, but back to the drawing board once again, and it's going to be Reaver taking out the offensive Winston. So
smack them off of the payload. Surefour doing a great job just running back and forth, nailing all these targets that can't get away. Reaper was the first to die, followed by that Mercy. Now the attacking Winston Internet Hulk goes down, and IDDQ needs to reset again. They only have 1:20 left to try and complete the entire map here.
All right, so Cloud9
but he can smack them off of the payload. Surefour doing a great job just running back and forth, nailing all these targets that can't get away. Reaper was the first to die, followed by that Mercy. Now the attacking Winston Internet Hulk goes down, and IDDQ needs to reset again. They only have 1:20 left to try and complete the entire map here.
All right, so Cloud9 continuing to hold strong. Really nice stuff. I spoke too soon twice now. I thought IDDQD had it. Multiple points here, but Cloud9 holds on. And with only a minute left, IDDQD's got to feel like they're popping all their ults. So we've seen, first it was the speed boost, then it was the sound barrier, then it was the Deadeye, but nothing connects. And IDDQD has only one more chance, really, one more time to sync together as a team, because it doesn't look like it's going to happen here. Chipsogen still 40% away from getting his ultimate, so no big revive's going to happen here.
Just Taimu and Internet Hulk on the payload now. Taimu sunk a lot of damage into Kai, but Kai has his ultimate again, another 1,000 HP. Poor Kai allows him to just start smacking people away. That was only 1 minute ago that he already had it, so now this is just so good for Kai staying alive long enough to get another ult and essentially prevent IDDQ from capping. They were less than a meter away. They were something like 0.95 meters away at their best, and now the payload is all the way off the checkpoint. They've got 5 seconds here. They've got one overtime, and they've got a Deadeye and a Res and an Earthshatter all to be able to use. There's a defensive sound barrier to get us started. Defense is going to initiate first. There's the Earthshatter catching 3 members. Debet actually got in the way of Coco long enough, but Debet did fall as a result. Suddenly, all these Winstons available and all this tank HP for IDDQD means that they're going to actually cap it.
They capped it in overtime. They were able to grab it with the last push. Epic stuff, guys. IDDQD does set a time, but Cloud9, again, they were able to beat the somewhat mediocre, somewhat slow time that IDDQD did set on Hollywood. So I feel really good for Cloud9's chances here now that we've switched over to really like the most standard map of all of them. Will Cloud9 be able to make it happen? Let's find out.
10 minutes, 15 seconds, set in overtime. There were a bunch of interesting decisions there. I thought Cloud9 was going to be able to hold that last checkpoint. Not even the end of the map. The checkpoint before that, I thought they might even be able to hold. But the fact that they lost that very quickly after one big fight basically meant that all they had to do was hang on for a few minutes at the end. And I still don't know why they decided to push up so far into the spawn. If you have momentum, let's say your whole team wipes them, all 6 of you are still alive, you push up to the spawn, what's the best result that can happen there? You keep them pinned in for another minute or so, but if they get any kills, you're getting sent way back and they just run right out the door again. And that Graviton Surge literally, I think, lost them the game when they were up in the faces of IDDQD spawn and all got caught there. They did not have enough time to reset. The payload moved way farther than it had at any other stretch, and then ultimately they lost the map because of it. They didn't lose the game yet. They obviously still have a chance to rebut and move way faster than IDDQD did, but that, I think, had to be the very obvious point where they kind of let it go off the rails a little bit. They thought their momentum was stronger than it actually was, and they got reset.
You hear that? Be shielded.
Much obliged.
20,000 damage was quite a lot as well. Someone pointed out damage blocked.
If everyone performs their function, victory is assured.
All right, so here we are, switching sides, Cloud9. All they have to do is set a time less than 10 minutes.
Shield engaged.
Thanks.
You are shielded.
Thank you kindly.
All right, 20 seconds remaining. The defense is getting set up now. They are going to go with Symmetra, Internet Hulk, being their player of choice for that. They did speed her out to get those turrets in place. I like the turret placement over on the left side underneath that ledge where Taimu's kind of guarding right now. It seems to be one of the more popular flank spots now. No one really goes on that inside track unless you're with your whole team and you feel like you can steamroll, 1 or 2 defenders. Typically, it seems to be either a teleport or a blink into the back line, and that left side is very, very popular for that. So here we go, moving forward. Reaver actually going to start out on Pharah, not on Widow, to get us started. That's a little bit interesting. Normally, he is trying to get those picks on defense. So Taimu's actually behind the entire back line now, shooting at Adam right away as Reaper does get the kill on... actually, Chips and Coco were the first to fall on defense. Taimu actually falling as Reaper shortly after, and Cloud9's up 6-3. They're going to cap A like it's no problem at all.
Wow. I mean, it's not over just yet. I mean, we could see some crazy play from AKM, but he's got to make a miracle happen, and it doesn't look like it will.
Yeah, McCree's not the most mobile. He can win a 1v1, but if he gets surrounded, he's going to get dunked on, and that was the fastest A-cap I've seen against IDDQD in potentially months.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, I mean, this is not the same IDDQD team, but they should theoretically be very close, I mean, to where they were. Obviously, it's not just individual skill in this game. Like, everything comes down to team coordination as well. I'm watching Taimu, actually, who's going to be flanking as Reaper up top and actually now joining up with the rest of his team. And it's going to be standard 2 teams clashing here on the roads of King's Row. In the row, I guess.
Yeah, this is the actual row.
But only lands it on 1. Reaver's going to be able to pick up a couple more. And that's a wipe. That is a clean wipe.
Just skulls everywhere. Debet and Reaver combo to kill off 4 members of IDDQD's defense, and now they've got a long run back. Winston is going to be one of the first ones back to try to contest there right at the very end. If you didn't know, you can only push the payload forward with 3 people to make it optimal. 4, 5, or 6 doesn't matter. So you see they move forward with their 3 harassers and stick back with their 3 sort of tanky squad. But now we do have that big contest happening that we always do here at the end of this checkpoint. It's going to come down to the ultimates. You see that offensive sound barrier going off first, and Adam actually dies. Debet charges so far forward that it drags the entire IDDQD defense back, and the payload moves forward a little bit, but they're definitely not going to be able to get that on this push.
Yeah, still working on a great time, though. And let's take a look at any switches in the team compositions. We have Pharah back in play, and this is one of the maps where we saw Pharah consistently in the meta, even when it was all about the Tracers and the Symmetras and the Zenyatas and the Lucios and the Winstons. We always still saw Pharah on this map specifically, but that's a nice flurry of kills going the way of IDDQD, so that's going to be a clean wipe. So C9 still on a really good pace, but they have been shut down now twice in a row.
Yeah, we'll be looking to see if they make any composition switches. It looks like Reaver and Adam going to stick together as the Pharah Mercy combo, and you've got everyone else still staying on their roles as well. Kai with that Zarya at 93%. We're going to be watching her percentage tick on up to 100. That Graviton Surge most likely going to be used as the next initiation for the next fight.
Yeah, and I just want to call out the fact that Symmetra shields being nerfed by half has completely changed basically everyone's compositions on most maps, it seems. I mean, we have seen Kings Row twice, so I would like to go to some other maps as well. But Reaver with a nice couple of kills, Debet with another huge revive, though, for defense, bringing 3 or 4 back into the action. So the mayhem will continue. Debet with another nice Earth Shatter. He's going to take 3 with that. So 3 folks knocked onto their asses. Debet making it happen for his team. Reaver and Debet and Surefour now with even more damage being done. Chips a Gen all the way by himself, trying to heal up Internet Hulk as he does go ape. But now Cloud9 has basically 6 full minutes to get through this final area. Looking great.
Yeah, both sides attacking has been a story of Winston ults, basically, or I should say on defense, actually, as the majority of contesting time for both sides was just Winston ults. And in that case, it was Internet Hulk buying a few seconds for his team. They at least were able to respawn and get into the road in time for the enemy to show up. But Surefour popping that Deadeye, always with the speed boost, if you notice. Surefour always has that Lucio with him to speed boost him while he's in the high noon, so he can get a better angle on people trying to take LOS. Looks like he did get a couple of kills there, but the defensive revive followed by a defensive sound barrier means everyone is still standing. That was a very interesting Earth Shatter there. Coco did actually fall on his butt there. Debet was the last man standing, and Internet Hulk on Winston again, kind of the only one contesting. And Cloud9 still looking in a great position, especially with that offensive res. Adam again bringing everyone back into play. There's Internet Hulk again with his Winston ult knocking people away.
And the Winston ult so far today, it's
big
just
one
been
for
the
Surefour.
best. Yeah, Surefour gets 2 in a crucial time for his team. This could be the end of the match. Cloud9 looking to end it quick and early against IDDQD, something you really would never have expected me to be saying at this point in time. And now the Lucio's all by himself. Lucio, what are you doing? Never give up. Trying his best to survive a little bit longer. But yes, it does look like Cloud9 will be stopped once more. IDDQD, they have 4 minutes and 40 seconds to hold Cloud9 on this final stretch. And they definitely want to do it, man. They want to go to a game 3. They don't want to lose the streak of 55 match wins and 0 losses. It could end right here. I was totally saying something before I got caught up, but I forget what it was.
I forget too. There's a Graviton Surge followed by that Barrage. That combo has come out a couple of times this game. That was the best use of it, but the defensive Mercy ult brings everybody right back up. There's an Earth Shatter knocking Taimu into space, basically, but Debet gets surrounded and taken out. Surefour with the high noon of his own, but there's so much HP on all of these targets. Surefour still gets 2 kills. Internet Hulk and Never Give Up both go down, but it is about even on both sides here, and they are going to force Cloud9 back toward their spawn again. I don't think you'll see IDDQD getting up in their faces and spawn, though.
And here comes Cloud9 pushing forward with that Reinhardt shield. Reaver's damage boosted coming from the top, and Reaver, one of the best DPS players in the NA scene, but we're not always used to seeing him play with Pharah. I mean, of course, he does play it from time to time, but this map really just lends itself to that Zarya-Pharah combo. And it's even right now. It's a 5-on-5, and this is actually looking okay for the attacking team, but Debet's barrier is now down. Surefour is going to try and use his ultimate here, but he's just going to flop over dead and out now. So now the advantage is back in the court of IDDQD, who looked like they were on the ropes, but all of a sudden, Cloud9 has not had an answer to this very strong defense of 2 tanks, 2 supports, and 2 DPS.
The double McCree on defense coming out again for IDDQD. They really like AKM and Taimu both on McCree, and I have to say that it's working. AKM got a couple of kills in that last defense. Taimu the time before that. They don't need either of them on Reaper or Tracer if they're just going to be, super precise gunslingers instead. And we do know the value of that Deadeye ult. Barrage comes out, only picks off AKM, but Taimu gets revenge on Reaver. Reaver getting res, everyone getting res, so we're all right back up. No ults available, really. Debet does have an Earth Shatter. He pops it immediately, catches 3 members. Never Give Up getting caught way in the back there. All these members actually falling now. Debet, as the only person standing against AKM, Internet Hulk finally does rejoin the fight. But Debet got a ton of kills.
With 2 supports. 1 tank, 2 supports, making it happen.
They can't kill the Winston Rage ult again.
Oh my god, this Rage ult has been ridiculous in terms of just delaying the push of the payload. Even if the rest of your team is dead, somebody fell. I'm not sure who that was. You can still just delay for so long. Surefour is pushing people back. They don't want to be in range of the high noon, and this payload's moving ever closer to the end. It's
they're gonna get
over.
Coco
IDDQD
charged in.
takes
Sureforce stunned
their
him.
first loss.
It's
In
over!
55 games, the streak is over.
Wow, actually pretty crazy. Cloud9 made it look very, very good.
All right. Exciting stuff. Sorry for talking over you, Joshy.
That's
at
all
the
good.
end there. I just was getting way too hype. I couldn't contain myself. The streak is over. The dream is dead. No Mendo, no Tavik. No more streak. And you know what that